Greetings, guys. Here it is. It's nighttime. I'm wearing my hair up in a clip, and it's a very brief one. It's a very brief one. Let me take it down. I look too goofy. Um, Someone is saying that they're about to do exclusive. More on the Josh Duggar court case. Well, I'm going to save you the trouble of sitting through a 3-hour live stream with them. Josh Duggar, all the motions were denied. The federal court in Arkansas denied everything. They're not going to throw out the hand pictures. They're not going to throw out the entire suit. One of the crazier things his lawyers were trying to say was that they didn't have any right to. I'm sorry, pork distracted me. They didn't have any right to prosecute the case because Donald Trump had illegally appointed some people to the higher levels of Homeland Security. So they were throwing everything at the wall like spaghetti. So everything was denied. They can't throw out the case because of what Donald Trump did. They're not throwing out the handprints, the photographs of the hands. They're denying everything that Travis Story et al. Asked for. So it's going to go to court. It's on like Donkey Kong. Nothing sticks. They threw the spaghetti. They knew it was a last-ditch effort. They knew it was unlikely. None of it stuck. Emily D. Baker is the one who was breaking these things down last time that she was talking about the Duggars. I watched her. It was pretty simplistic. There's not much of a possibility any of them would stick, but you got to try. That's why you hire these high-priced mouthpieces. So Angela, yeah, he's going to court. Very encouraging news because he was trying to say that all these things that happened that were wrong and that he shouldn't be going to court. And then the next thing you know, he's going to court. He's going to court. I believe I read the other day they pushed it back again, so who knows? These things, I do know they take a lot of time. Now that they supposedly have matched the backs of his hands, the scars or whatever, to some SA photos, I think it's likely we're going to get pushed back again. That is my speculation on this thing. That's exactly where I think it will go. We're just going to have to sit back. He's going to court with the deck stacked against him. Yes. And one thing I can say about Homeland Security is when they go to court against somebody, they usually have a 97% conviction rate. Oh, I don't like this light. It's glaring off my glasses. They usually have a 97% conviction rate. So there's that. And Josh, I hate to say it, I think his life is over because people in prison don't take well to pedophiles. He's going to have to live the rest of his life in solitary and protective seg. And that's, I would normally say that's sad, but if he did what they're alleging he did, and I believe he probably did because the feds never go to court without buku evidence, that's sad. If it was me, I'd be taking that 10-year plea deal. I would not be fighting this anymore. He is the golden child, yes. And I don't know what that's going to do to mama and daddy. Lisa, that's exactly right. Feds don't bring cases unless they think they have enough evidence for it to be a slam dunk and for them to get a conviction. It may take them a while because we saw they raided his business in November 2019, and it took until not that long ago where they actually turned around and said, okay, this is what we're doing. It took them a long time to get to the arrest. They should have separate jails for these people. Imagine 40 years in solitary confinement. Bossy, I'm not sure that wouldn't qualify as cruel and unusual punishment. I am not a big fan of punitive punishment. I do benefit some from being locked up, that there's some kind of therapy. I know some prisons do therapy and training and schooling and stuff better than others. Ooh, I gotta turn this down. This is making me crazy. That's a little better. So there's that. Well, Lisa, that may well happen. That is, Bossy, I knew that there was allegations of an ex-employee, and he was also trying to could have been others. They were trying to say it could have been anybody, but the thing is, the sad truth is, they have this all matched up to him. Apparently, he used the same password for his banking account as he did for his dark web porn. You don't do that. This is why you have to have separate passwords for everything, because if they get a hold of your password and your secretive email address and manage to link it all together like that, you are screwed, screwed, screwed. I don't know why he did that, because that's really just, I don't know. The whole thing is just nuts. Most do little or no therapy. I know that Kentucky girl, and that's sad. I would really like to see prison be not so much a penitentiary to achieve penance, but more of a reform type attitude, except for these guys. I think these sexual molesters, these people that go after children, study after study has shown there's no hope for these guys. These guys get out and reoffend. They always reoffend. Maybe they should be locked up somewhere special and kept away from everybody, not just even other prisoners, but everybody. Oh, it was Josh. No, wait, it wasn't. He needs to rot in prison. People like him do not change. People who partake in CP never change. That is their kink. And I've seen studies on even things like chemical castrations don't even work on these guys. This is something that is so hardwired into them. And I think, at least with Josh, it shows what can happen if something is super forbidden from you the entire life, like anything to do with sexuality. And you start doing weird stuff, and you just get weirder and weirder with it until it becomes almost farcical. I was posting this morning once they tasted blood, they can never be rehabilitated. They're predators. Send into that village in Florida for predators of children. Bozzy, that may be a good idea. Just keep them aside. They never change. Guys that do that stuff, they never change. No amount of castration works. No amount of therapy works on them. So I am curious to see how much time he will get. When he comes out, he will be on the registry. So he will not even be allowed to be around his own children if he's on the registry. Send him after prison, not before. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is for this, but this is just a really good example of where Quiverful can lead in some of the crazy modesty and beliefs about bodies, the things that they preach. I had to laugh today because when you least expect it, Quiverful evangelicalism pops up. Today I was watching Dr. Phil. Not Dr. Phil. I was watching Judge Judy. Yeah, I admit that. Sometimes I watch Judge Judy if I'm having a day like today where I'm just having trouble walking. I watch Judge Judy and crochet. Okay, so Judge Judy had a case on that. It wasn't until the end I figured out the family was Quiverful. It was a Quiverful family. And they were fighting over stupid stuff. He's not getting out. Go to jail. Do not pass go. If he started some of the CP that was on his computer, they're putting him away for life. There's no getting out. Just like the guy who made the film that he purchased that was on his computer. That guy is never getting out. They tried him in The Hague, and he is in prison for the rest of his natural days. There's no getting out. So I don't think that he's going to get out. I really don't. I don't understand why Jim Baker's still on TV. It's creepy. Do you think Jim messed with those girls? Here's what I think about Jim Baker, okay, and who he messed with. He messed with Jessica Hahn, obviously. She's talked about it. But there was a whole lot of talk through the years that he had sex with a lot of the guys that he was around, a lot of his people that took care of him, his assistants and things. There was a lot of gossip about that. I'm not saying it's 100% true, But in my opinion, it probably was true. Because I've always thought that Jim Baker struck me that way, and I think that's a whole lot more likely than he was doing CP. I just don't pick up the CP vibes from him. I pick up the in the closet vibes from him. Of course, I could always be wrong. I mean, look, Pestilence Adams is clearly wrong about Todd Chrisley, and he's been married twice. You don't always get it right on those things. That's why you don't want to shout it out and say so and so is gay, because you can't prove it. Then it just becomes your word against their word, and they may sue you. Sexual predatory behavior is not about sex. It's power. It's power control every time, Kentucky girl. You are exactly right. Power and control. That power and control ring, I have to put the chart out. The power and control wheel with all the warnings on it, it's all about power and control. And that makes me really fearful for his wife. I don't know what's going to happen with her next, because what I do know about that particular type of religion is that you're told for your husband, go visit him in jail, bring the children to visit, even if it's this kind of offense. They preach and teach that. And you forgive, he comes out, you welcome him with open arms, the whole 9 yards. Ginger, no, it's not as good as it used to be, which is why I'm reluctant to call anybody that anymore, because I never know. My husband knows mine used to be fairly well defined. There were times where we are like, yeah, he is. Or she is. So there's that. Who knows? Who knows? I just know that it's not like it was. I've learned a lot about predators. My oldest daughter was a psychologist in prison for years. Ooh, Kentucky, that's kind of wild. She asked TC that. Did she ask TC that? That's pretty crazy that Barbara Walters would ask him that. I wouldn't ask that. That's kind of rude. Sexuality is really each person's business in this world. It's not our business. That's why I've always been reluctant to say which one of the Duggar boys I think might be a friend of Dorothy or anyone, because that's really their business, no matter what kind of vibes. Even if you're picking up vibes like Liberace. I used to fight with my father about Liberace. I don't know if some of you younger folks know who Liberace was. He was this very flamboyant guy who played piano, hung around Las Vegas. Oh my word, he had some crazy outfits. It was impossible to look at his crazy outfits and not think, maybe he's a little gay. Maybe he's bisexual, who knows? But his outfits were always over the top. He always had sequins and all kinds of crazy stuff. And I used to, yeah, Prairie. I used to fight with my father over that, because I used to tease him about that. He loved Liberace. And I would irk him by saying, Liberace's gay, you know. When I was a teenager, I used to do this. And my father would lose it because he loved Liberace. If he was still around, I would just send him all these super gay looking pictures of Liberace and still pick at him about it, because I know it was this. Yes, he did, Julie, and that's what's so funny about it. He did. And then later, his then boyfriend wrote a book about them after he had died. And that was really sad. It was made for a very sad movie. I watched the movie. Michael Douglas played Liberace, and it was just sad. It's like it was a very happy or fulfilling life to be leading, even with all the money in the world and those crazy outfits and gold pianos and various things. He didn't seem like a happy person. It seemed like all of his wealth didn't really make him happy. Liberace, yeah, Kitten on the Keys. I loved his playing. Crystal, that's exactly right. It is. But I got to say, when I used to poke at him about that, I was a teenager. And back in the 1970s, I don't care what anybody's sexuality is, as long as they're not using it to hurt somebody, like Josh Duggar is left apparently a pile of victims. Well, I'm curious with the trial to see what happens. I know that they're going to be shutting down a lot of the witnesses, the child witnesses are going to be doing guardian ad litem. They're going to protect the children. Somebody was saying that his own children are not eligible for that kind of children are not eligible for kind of care. But I don't know. I think once the judge makes a ruling that all minors' names will be withheld and their testimony is going to be done behind closed doors, I don't see why it wouldn't include his own children. Because here's the thing with that. They're as covered by the law as well as the other witnesses. And, I was hoping that this wasn't true, but it looks like it may be at this point. And I don't see anything good coming out of any of this. Let's see, Emily Baker, that every motion has. Yes, that's why I decided to come on here and talk about it a little bit, because Emily D. Baker did say that, and I was thrilled to see that, because somebody is trying to do a big live in a bit saying she's got exclusive information. So whenever I get information that I know that she's about to bust, I just go ahead and go online too a little bit earlier than her. I forgot to finish watching the Joshua and Bozzy. I was busy, and that's the only problem is I don't have enough time to watch everybody. And I think you're right, Prairie. I think that every single minor witness name will be redacted and their testimony will be protected, even if it's his own child, because your own children aren't going to receive a different punitive treatment. They're going to receive the same treatment as all the other minor witnesses in the case. It makes me sick to think that there is minor witnesses and that they're going to bring people on like that. I'm not looking forward to this. This is one of those cases that's going to be really hard to look at the coverage on. Crystal, yes, she is. Clearly she is. Because tonight is Friday night. Emily D. Baker is queen of Friday night. I never go on Friday night unless I have something to break like this, and it's only for a little while, because I am not going up against the queen. And I am curious to watch her Britney coverage too. I'm going to get off here in a little bit so that I can go in and wait for the queen to hear what she has to say about Britney. Poor Britney. Is that a hot mess or what? She got new news on Britney in 5 minutes. I know. Is there a replay from today's hearing? Prairie, I don't know. I'm going to go online as soon as I get off here in just a minute or two, because I don't want to miss Emily's live. I'm going to start looking through the PACER and see if I can pull the actual documents and see what was said. These cases are sickening and very hard to follow. You're exactly right. They are very, very hard to follow. Very, very hard to follow. Never been a fan of any sort of thing, and it just sickens me. There are few things. I'm not a big fan of the Duggars, as you well know, but I don't even wish this on them. Ginger, you're very welcome. I'm going to go lay back down. I'm having a bad day today with my health, and I don't even know why. So who knows? So I'm going to have toast, and I'm going to read. I may even do a little writing this evening. I have that stupid book I have to keep toiling on. Since my other ones are in limbo, my Costa Rica book, I have to wait until the rest of COVID shakes out, because they're changing everything every single day. Lots of changes. Thank you, Kentucky Girl. I don't know what this is. I looked it up, and the symptoms I'm having, it just says nerve impingement. So who knows? It's neurological. So I've got an email into my doctor, and I have a feeling they're going to bump up the Lyrica yet again. Life. Love you guys. You have a great Friday, and I hope to see you at Emily D. Baker's in a few minutes.